In the previous lecture, we have seen the physical properties of metal. We have seen what are metals, and even we have studied the different physical properties of metal by the activity. So students, today we are going to see about non-metals. So students, as we know, non-metals, there are very few elements. If you see the periodic table, there are very few elements of non-metals, right? So even as metal have its physical properties, similarly non-metal also have its physical properties. So today we are going to see in detail what are the physical properties of non-metal. So before going on that topic, we'll understand a very deep concept about metals and non-metals. So students, if we try to define non-metals, we can say that non-metals are those which are lacking with the characteristic of metals. That means we can say non-metals are those elements which are not having the characteristic of metals. That means they are lacking the characteristic of metals. So if we see some of the example of non-metals like oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, right? And if we see about more examples, then it comes carbon, sulfur, iodine, and bromine, etc. So we can say these all are some of the example of non-metals. Now these are the example of non-metals. So now we are very much clear that what are non-metals. Now second point which we need to understand is, see, even metal have different states. Similarly non-metal also exists in different states. So we can say now we will find the states of non-metals. So what are the states of non-metals? So let us see the concept of states of non-metals on behalf of the classification. If I need to classify non-metals into three states, as we know that we are having three states: solid, liquid and gases. So I am writing over here solid, liquid and gases. So students, if we see from above example, the solid are, the example of solid non-metals element are carbon, sulfur and iodine. So these three are the example of solid non-metal elements. Now we'll see the example of liquid. So we can say that the way where there is an exception case in metal, the same there is exception case in non-metals also. So in non-metals, bromine is the only non-metal which is existing in liquid state, right? That is an exception case. So in that case, we can say the example for liquid in liquid state in non-metal elements are bromine. And now we see about the gaseous states. Then students, it can be O2, N2 and H. So we have basically three states: solid, liquid, gases, and accordingly we have classified and we have specified some of the example according to states. You can say carbon, sulfur and iodine are solid elements of non-metals. Liquid state bromine is a non-metal, and then oxygen, nitrogen and hydrogen are the gaseous states which are the elements of non-metals. So this was all about the state of non-metals. Now we are going to see about physical property of non-metals. So we know that as metal have its physical properties, So non-metal do exist physical properties. So today we are going to see the very important concept of this video is about physical properties of non-metals, and we are going to see this physical property of non-metals by the activity, as we have done for the metal. The same we are going to see for non-metals. So now we will go on the activity 3.1, in which we are able to understand what are the physical properties of non-metals. Right? So now we are going to see physical properties of non-metals. So students, what we are going to do? We are going to take three elements. So basically in activity 3.7, what we will do? We will take carbon, sulfur and iron. We are going to take three non-metal elements. Now what we will do? We will take these three elements and accordingly we will try to check, we will justify whether these elements are having which properties, or they are having properties like they are hard, luster, they are soft, or whether they are ductile, malleable or sonorous or not. So for that I am just going over here, I am citing elements. Okay. And I am writing as properties. So what I am going to do basically, students, I am going to write the three elements which we are going to see in activity, that is carbon, sulfur and iron. Now I am just going to write those properties which these elements are consisting, that I am going to write over here. So seeing one by one about all of that, if we talk about carbon, see students, carbon is in a state, it doesn't contains lustrous, or they are not luster in properties. Why? Because they are not shiny. If we see in the activity very first activity 3.1, we have seen that if just by observing the appearance of metal and then we are just rubbing sandpaper on that metal, you will be able to see the different form. You will see that those metals get shiny, and due to which they are in metals in pure form, they have shiny appearance, it is nothing but they are in lustrous property. And if we talk about non-metals, then we can say carbon and sulfur both are not having this property. It means carbon and sulfur are not having luster properties. Clear? And if we talk about iodine, then iodine the exceptional case which is being non-metal and it is having the property of luster. So we can say it is luster. Okay, this was the very first. Now going to the very second activity. Then we have seen whether metals are hard or soft. So we were able to see their appearance. So as we remember, mainly those metals were hard, and the very exception that we saw about sodium, that was soft, so we were able to cut the knife. Now if we talk about non-metal, students, we can say sulfur is also hard, so carbon is also hard, but in that case sulfur is soft, and even though iodine is soft, I like that this is soft, and even this is soft. And I am talking about carbon. So I am mentioning about you because we know that particularly we cannot predict about properties of carbon. But if we see about its allotrope, that the allotrope of carbon is diamond and graphite, right? But a question arises that what is allotrope? So students, the different form of carbon is nothing but known as allotrope. That means the different form of carbons are diamond and graphite. If we see the different form, in case of diamond, then we can say diamond are hard. So in that case, we can say carbon can have the property of hardness. So I can say diamond are hard. But when there is an allotrope form, that is in diamond. So this was all about hardness. Then we see malleability and ductility. Then we have seen activity 3.3 and 3.4 in metals, that whether it can be made into thin sheets, then they are malleable. Then if that can be made into wires, then they are ductility. But students, in this case we can definitely say that non-metal does not possess malleability and ductility properties. So not sulfur, carbon or iodine, none of these elements are having the property of malleability and ductility. Now moving on very next property, that was about good conductor of heat. As we have seen that iron rod that was in displacing, it should be having high melting point. But if we talk about this non-metal element, we can say none of the elements are having or are good conductor of good conductor of heat. So nor carbon, sulfur or iodine, none of the elements are having the property of good conductor of heat. But if we talk about the other type of carbon, that is if I am talking about diamond, then diamond is having high melting point because it is hard and it cannot be melted so easily. So we can say, if we talk about other type of carbon, then in that case, yes, diamond is hard and it is having high melting point. So other type of carbon is having the property of good conductor of heat. That means it is having high melting point. But then we cannot say that carbon is having the property of good conductor of heat. Right? Now moving to my next property, that is good conductor of electricity. So students, if we see in this case, none of the non-metals will found that they are good conductor of electricity. So I can say carbon, sulfur and iodine, none of these elements are having the property of good conductor of electricity. Right? So they are not having this property. But now if I think about allotrope of carbon, that if I am talking about the graphite, which is nothing but a form of a carbon, this allotrope of carbon, then in that case graphite is said to be a good conductor of heat. So I am writing the property of graphite. I can say it is good conductor of heat. So we can say, as per the discussion, we have seen all the properties. Yes, we are remaining with one. That is the last property, sonorous. That makes deep intense sound. So we have said that metal are sonorous. But if we talk about non-metal, that in case none of these elements are having the property of sonorous. So here, by this activity, we can very well conclude that non-metals are not having lustrous property, except iodine is one of the case, which is shine. And if we talk about hardness, then we can say carbon is hard, but in the case sulfur and iodine are soft. Now students, if we talk about the good ductility and malleability, then metals are a consistent property, but in case of non-metals element do not have the property of ductility and malleability. And my next property is about sonorous. Yes, so we talked about sonorous. So none of these non-metals are having the property of sonorous. That means they are not making the deep intense sound as metal. And the very second last property we talk about, good conductor of heat and electricity. So in that case, none of the elements come in this, that is none of the elements are having the property of good conductor of heat. But if we talk about the allotrope of carbon, that is the another form of carbon, that is diamond. In that case, diamond is hard and reduced, it is having high melting point. So we can see the allotrope of carbon, the diamond is having that property. Now if we talk about good conductor of heat, then none of these elements in non-metal is having that property except the one, that is the allotrope of carbon, that is graphite. That means graphite is having the property of good conductor of heat. So students, with this we can conclude the property of non-metals. So now we have almost completed the property of non-metals, right, with the activity of 3.7. Now the very next topic in this is the general property of metal and non-metal. So students, as we know, now we are going to see the general property of metal and non-metal. So students, what are the general and common properties we can see in metal and non-metal? In that, the very first thing is about mercury. So we know mercury is the only element in metals that is existing in solid state at room temperature. It is having high melting point and boiling point. That is the very one point. If we talk about the second point, then we can talk about iodine. Yes, iodine is being that it is a non-metal, still it has luster property, it is shiny. Third thing, if we talk about cesium and gallium, they are metals, still they does not exist at room temperature. That means even if you keep in our plant, it will melt very easily. That means if we talk about mercury, it is at room temperature, it is in solid state, while the state differs in cesium and gallium. It is a very third property. And we talk about the very fourth property, then we talk about the allotrope of carbon. So students, as we have seen the allotrope of carbon, what is allotrope, and we know the allotrope of carbon are diamond and graphite. So students, we know diamond is hard, and due to which they are having high melting point and boiling. Right? This is the very fourth thing. And then we talk about the very fifth thing, that is about graphite. It is another allotrope of carbon. If we talk about graphite, then graphite is the good conductor of heat. Right? It is good conductor of heat. And this shows that allotrope of the carbon, even it is an allotrope of carbon, still it have two different properties. One is hard and high melting and boiling point, and another is having good conductor of heat. And if we see the very last point in the general physical properties of metals and non-metals, then we can talk about alkali metals. Students, if we talk about alkali metal like lithium and all, then those metals are soft because they are having low melting point, and the density is also less, due to which they can be cut easily and they are soft. This is all about the general physical properties of metals and non-metals. So students, now we are going to see activity 3.1. In that we are going to see the acidity and basicness of the oxides. Now in that what we need a burner, we need magnesium ribbon, we need sulfur powder. I am repeating, we need a burner, we need a test tube, we need magnesium ribbon, and we need sulfur powder. For that what we'll do, first we'll take a magnesium ribbon, as we have studied already in the very first chapter, that when we burn magnesium ribbon, the magnesium, that is magnesium in presence of oxygen, gives magnesium oxide. So we are going to get magnesium oxide, that is a white powder. Now what we are going to do, we are going to take this magnesium powder, that is magnesium oxide powder, and we are going to add water in this. That means that it will dissolve in water. Now when this completes, we will shake properly the test tube. Then we will take a litmus tube and we'll take a few drops of this magnesium oxide solution in presence of water on this litmus tube. What we will see? We will see that this litmus turns red to blue. That means the state, that is the magnesium oxide, is basic. That is what we have seen about magnesium oxide. Now what we'll do, we'll take sulfur powder. That we will just burn sulfur powder in a china dish. What will happen, students? As soon as we burn sulfur powder, fumes will be produced. And we'll take one of the test tube and we'll collect that of the fumes in the test tube, and then we'll add water in that test tube where there is fumes of sulfur. So we can see that sulfur in presence of water gives sulfur dioxide. That means now we have sulfur dioxide. Adding water with sulfur dioxide, we will get hydrogen sulfur. Right? So we are going to get hydrogen sulfur. Now we'll take blue litmus and we can take both of this litmus. But when I tested, I found that when I am just using blue litmus, it turns red. That means the sulfur dioxide is showing the property of acidic property, while magnesium oxide is showing the property of basic. That by this we can conclude that magnesium hydroxide is basic, while hydrogen sulfide is acidic. So students, in this video we have seen about non-metals, state of non-metals, in which we have seen its solid, liquid, gases with different examples. Then we have seen the physical properties by the activity, in which we have seen the allotrope of carbon, we have seen hardness, shininess, good conductor of electricity. And then we have seen some of the 5 to 6 general properties of metals and non-metals, right? And at the least we have seen the activity 3.8, in which what we have done, we have taken magnesium ribbon, we have burned that ribbon, that in presence of oxygen it gives magnesium hydroxide. Now I am adding water with magnesium oxide, I am adding magnesium hydroxide. And when I am just doing litmus test, I am finding that magnesium hydroxide is basically nature. Now if I go on sulfur, then I am taking sulfur. In presence of oxygen, I am burning the sulfur powder, I will get sulfur dioxide. It will convert into gases, so I will get fumes. Now when I am collecting that fumes, just I am keeping a test tube on the fumes, and what I will do, I will just add water in that test tube, and then I will get hydrogen sulfide. Now when I do litmus test with this hydrogen sulfide, what I am going to get? I am going to get that these hydrogen sulfide is in aqueous state is acidic in nature. So this is how the activity 3.8, and it shows the acidic and basic nature of hydroxides and sulfides. See students, if we see the basis of classification of metals and non-metals, so the properties of non-metals and metals, it is difficult on basis of physical properties, because we have seen many general properties like lustrous, good conductor of heat, high melting boiling point. Some of the exceptional cases, even non-metal elements are consisting such properties. So on basis of physical properties, we cannot determine whether the metal is metal or non-metal, whether the element is metal or non-metal. So for that, we need to go on chemical properties. So by chemical properties, we can definitely say that the respective elements which we are having is metal or non-metal. So if we say in your syllables, non-metal is not in your syllables, but we have studied completely about physical properties, and here we are completing the physical properties of metals and non-metals. So students, homework for this video is what you need to do. You need to write a short note on the physical properties of metals and non-metals. So students, this is all for the video. Thank you.